Yes, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, pick up Burn Team family once again. And this is another edition of
You suck.
How are you feeling? Oh yes. How we sounding? How we feeling?
Sounding great.
And people, another week has passed. And if you didn't know, now you know. The topic for today, tonight, this morning, whenever you're looking at this live, is a battle. We're here to share perspective.
Yes.
Between what?
Marriage and common law relationships.
Well, bacchanal in this thing. Well, bacchanal in this thing. So the difference between the pros and the cons in marriage and
Common law.
common law
Yes.
relationships. So we're going to delve into the differences, the definition, what warrants you in a common law. I think we throw around the common law relationship very loosely.
Yes.
So you're gonna set the record straight on what is a common law relationship and how do you rank and the specifications by law that actually says that you are in a common law relationship. So a lot of people walking around thinking in common law relationships,
Yes. They are not.
but they are definitely not. So as we're warming up, it is the lounge, we chilling,
Yes.
and we just gotta get into it. Big up Miss Batiste on the live. Big up V on the live. And in the comment section, as we always do, place what you think a common law relationship is
Yes.
and well, you know what a marriage is.
Hopefully you remember.
But I think the common law relationship would be something that we think we know, but I don't think we really understand. So in the comment section, give us the definition of a common law relationship as we're moving forward.
Yes.
Yes. As for the people who coming out in the morning, the ladies have started their aerobic scenario. Round one, round two. For them and those who know about round one and round two.
Yes.
So if you're now joining us, welcome.
Welcome.
If you are looking at us on Facebook,
Like and share.
and if you're looking at us on YouTube,
Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Like and comment.
it's a hectic week.
Yes.
So Cheeks, where's your views on the whole pros and cons before we even get into it?
The pros
Should we
and
give the
cons.
people them the definition of what common law is? We're waiting.
Let us remind you all what marriage is in that case, right? It is the legally or formally recognized union of two people, right, as partners in a personal relationship.
So as we are entering into this real talk live on a Friday night, Burn Team style, the topic for today is
Marriage versus common law relationships.
and if you're now joining this live, place in the comment section what you think a common law relationship is, and we will get into the legalities of how you are actually rated by law as being in a common law relationship?
Yes. So we know what marriage is. It's legal.
Right?
Yes.
So think about it and really give it some thought and place in the comment section what you think a common law relationship is. What entitles you to say that you are in a common law relationship?
Hi, Abby.
Big up yourself, Abby. So you know the time and the season is Real Talk Live. We in your lounge, we chilling. And place in the comment section what you think a common law relationship is. Definition. Yeah. So in the meantime, between time, we have points.
Yes.
And how it go? Yes. So should we be touching a point where we are allowing people to? Should we touch a pro or a con? How we have it? How we need it?
We have it, we have to understand the word.
The phrase.
Yes.
Common law.
Right? And common law, the word really is cohabitational. So when it is you are in a common law relationship, you are a cohabitant. And this cohabitational relationship can be no less than 5 years.
So take it up.
Yes? 5 years.
So
Up.
So let us get this thing really straight in the eyes of the law. A common law relationship is only recognized by law when you all have cohabitated. That means, as we say in Trini,
Living as husband and wife was shacking up.
the shack up thing there.
Shack up. Right? For 5 years. Not on and off, a straight 5 years.
You know, we try that sometimes really just use words and phrases and don't really understand what we actually speaking about.
Yeah.
Because some people say they're common law, but yet they lived with the person for 6 months and then they left.
Yes.
And
Come back next 6 months or next year.
So for the people who are now joining the live, we're going to dispel some of the myths. We're going to dispel some of the misunderstandings and misconceptions. The topic for today is
marriage versus common law relationships.
In the comment section, place what you believe a common law relationship is, and we will now get into what it really is.
Yes. Good night, Candy Barbara. Good night, Sonali.
Candy Barbara.
Waiting patiently because Candy Barbara suggested this topic.
Candy Barbara has a lot of feet into suggestions, and she does get a lot of suggestions brought to light.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Oh, and Frank is also on the live.
Big up yourself, Frank. Mr. Sipasad. Big up yourself. So in the comment section, feel free to place what you think a common law relationship is.
Yes.
And for them and those who are now coming on the live, the definition for this thing, because here Trinidadians, we Trinis, we had this kind of way. We in a common law relationship, they shack up.
Yeah, that's my husband. We are married, but that's my husband. We living together. Yes.
So the definition slowly is?
Right. So a common law relationship, right, is a living arrangement in which unmarried couples live together in a long-term relationship. Long-term, yeah, heard you right? A long-term relationship that resembles a marriage.
So by law, and we like to use the phrase common law, by law, it must be 5 years continuously without a break in the persons living together.
Yes.
So if you began living together year one, it must be 5 years straight through, without the person leaving, going home, and coming back the third weekend.
Yes.
And only then it is recognized by law as
And
common.
there are some other grounds too. Right?
So we'll be getting into the grounds. and
So
the
you can either
points.
have one child or children within that period. That's one. Persons within your community too must also recognize it as such. So you know your neighbors, as we say,
The
they're
Makos.
cautious, right? So they will know if you're coming and going, or if you're there for the long run. So they will be able to identify, just as the EBC, they have persons going out there when it's time for you to get your ID card to verify, is this person from this area?
Yes.
So the courts will do. They will ensure
Oh.
that you met the criteria.
So ladies, do not be going to the people court thinking that you are a common law wife when you have not lived 5 years with the gentleman.
That's 5 continuous.
Not going around for 5 years, not dealing for 5 years.
This is living together
Living in the same
as
house.
a husband or a wife.
Problems.
Yeah?
Point 1, as we're moving forward.
And you also must share responsibilities. Right? So whether you're cleaning, you're cooking, you're washing
For 5 years.
for 5 years.
Straight.
Yes.
It has some of them cooking for 5 minutes straight.
Right? Yes.
So we're going to get into the points, and we will allow you guys,
Yes.
we'll go to the message board.
Message board. So we have Candy saying 2 individuals who decided to collaborate without signing a legal document.
That's illegal.
Gail saying I think they are the same. Candy say common law, living together without the documents again. Right, so she says there's no extra for any others to understand. And Sonali is saying common law is simply a cohabitation like marriage or family, but no legal documentation is made. Hi Vanessa. Well, V from Tennessee.
We from Tennessee are hiding his happy belated birthday to your daughter. It was like pandemonium on Facebook. I see she come, how was the homecoming? I see she jump out of the car. She well decked. Big up yourself. You overdo it. We can't overdo it, certainly, yeah? Trust that. So the topic for today is
Marriage versus common law relationships.
so Candy and Miss Bartholomew.
So we are saying in the States it is 10 years.
So we understand what's going on. And it is illegal. Hence the phrase common law. So it is
No.
it is legal.
Yes. So
When the courts verify that you were there living as the wife or the husband, taking up responsibility as a spouse. In Trinidad it's 5 years, in the States it's 10 years. So you ain't getting no obligations, so you have to put in new work.
right now the thing about it is it's only in 1998 then persons living in common law relationships were given rights in Trinidad and Tobago in 1998.
So a bit of history,
Right.
we like to give you guys, the information. 1998, the official letter was written.
So we have what is called the Cohabitational Relationships Act.
Oh my.
Yeah. And that gives in full detail, right? If it is you go and look it up in Google, you'll find that it is a
We'll place the act in the comment section. We'll copy and paste it. Maybe a whole 3-page long or something.
no, it is more than 3 pages.
Yeah, see?
It is 17 pages long, which is could be considered short because a lot of the acts are very low.
So in reality, we will place the link to where you could go and read in the comment section. Yeah, so if you're now coming on, we'll go to the message board.
Alright, so the message board, V was just responding to your comment concerning her daughter. She said, "Thank you. I had to make her look good."
That was over good, but I was like, madness. So like send her Burn Team love, happy belated and homecoming, all that prom thing.
Is there anyone here hearing the definition of a common law relationship and hearing the number of years that will be considered, being in a common law?
Some people in relationship for a year, talking about 5 and 10 years.
Candy is saying, why choose common law over marriage? Right, so persons may choose common law over marriage for many different...
smart and she want to sign no prenup.
For many different reasons.
All the guys on the live, big up yourself. No prenup, common law. We're protecting the assets, guys. We're taking that shake.
No.
My lawyer will say 0 on that. All guys who have lawyers in this time and legal advisors.
Now the funny thing is, when you go to and you are actually in a cohabitational relationship and you go to the act, once it is you meet the grounds for being a cohabitant, if it is you help contribute to development of a house and you are now separated and you decide to separate, then you have a few rights. But if it is you decide that you're going into another relationship with someone or you get married, then you get nada.
That's what we're talking about. And for fellas, it might sound funny, but guys, we need to protect our assets, especially those who have children, to see about next how many years from now, people who work hard and build the collateral. And there are some people out here who would see what you have and come just to get what you have, whether it be male, whether it be female. I'm talking across the board. I just being miserable because you know me, right? But it's important because some people see what you have and they know that a straight marriage without a prenup for a guy is nada for the guy. All the old schoolers, sorry to tell all you at this point, we think for ourselves.
Right, so we have V saying, if you've been together that long, you should be married by then. That's 10 years. I guess she's speaking about the 10 years because some persons, they
have to be so, no?
They are in relationships for 5 years, but they may not get married, right?
And they
may not
cohabitate. People who in common law
cohabitate.
relationship like 13, 15 years and living very nicely.
Candy is saying, she echoes that. And Frank said, asking, do persons still have to do an exam for marriage or common law marriage for getting married?
Big up my boy Andy Miller on the live, man. Big up yourself, long time no see, my brother. And the topic for today is
marriage versus common law relationships.
I like the verses.
So Frank, which exam do you speak of?
Frank, I think all that we need are examiners. We need to examine ourselves. And this is the reality of it. Irregardless of, it will have pros and cons in common law and
marriage.
Right? But at the end of the day, the person you're allowing that length of time in your life with, you should examine yourself and that person before you embark on something like that.
Long term.
Point 4.
Right. So, Candy was asking, why do persons choose common law over, exactly, why do persons choose common law over marriage?
Because they're smart.
Right? So you would have seen earlier in the event we posted a picture, alright? And some persons, what they do, they decide that they would like to live together for a little while.
That's right.
To see if they are comfortable to see if it will
That is
work
wise.
out.
That is wise.
So because they have a saying where they say, see me and come and live with me is two different things.
Sure, right about that.
Right, so some persons they may court, whether it's for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, however long, and when it is they get married,
Everything changed.
is really, really different.
She don't want to cook. She's snoring hard in the night. You can't sleep. She's do a kind of funny thing with she nose.
Right, and
You know when people get married, all kind of strange things just come up, like, you know.
oh, they were doing it all the time, but they just ignored it,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it becomes a problem, right? Frank said that is what the pastor say. You have to do a test or exam.
Well, from the arm of people who go to marriage counseling, it would be psychological, it would be biblical. They would use the biblical text and the reasoning behind the biblical aspect that the institution of marriage was founded upon. Now, according to if it's a pastor or a pundit or an imam, you know, it would vary on the teachings in which that particular religion would have been counseling you on before you actually get into the whole thing. That is if people really do the due diligence of actually getting some sort of counseling, marriage counseling before message board.
Right, so Taron is saying live with them firstly. And
This a married guy telling all of this, This ain't no common law guy telling all of this. They married people telling you this.
all right, and we have my mother on the live, right? She's saying some people use the 5 years as a trial, and if all goes well, they get married.
Some people are even reaching 5. I mean, it's sad that the generations that are here and to come, upcoming, we have a very short tolerance level. We have a very short temperament. We we don't stick out anything, even if it's personal goal. Sometimes you have a personal goal and you don't even have the tenacity to even stick that out, much less to try to work with someone to build something that would be more. I think sharing a common vision might help.
Yeah.
You know, in staying together. Look, if all they don't have nothing to do together, that is a vision that could keep the relationship together. When the trouble comes, it will just crumble. Mm-hmm. Some people would use the faith or religion to kind of anchor the relationship. That I fail to.
Yeah, for some it does.
Sadly, for most in our Pentecostal faith, as I say, I like statistics. I don't go on what is thrown out there. The statistics is our Christians, Pentecostals, divorce rate is the highest divorce rate in the world, much less Trinidad and Tobago. That's the stats. We're talking about other than Muslim who have more than one wife. We're talking about some have more than one according to where in the diaspora of the world you are.
Yeah.
The Pentecostal faith is ranked number 1 in failed marriages.
All right. So we have Candy. We're going to the message board. Candy is saying, but a lot of people after 5 years still on trial. Right? And we have Shelly. Good night, Shelly.
Hi.
She said, but if you have kids, you both can marry elsewhere and things split evenly between the children. Now, when it is we're talking about splitting things between children and having a cohabitational relationship or a common law relationship, it is very, very tricky. That's why persons will say it is better to marry than live in a common law relationship.
On the woman's side.
Because
on
you
the
have to-
woman's side, fellas, seek your lawyer. When that lawyer put you to sit down and explain what you're going to sign there, you would ask yourself if slavery done or if it's still here. Fellas, you see all them ladies and them smart, all of them looking to benefit That's what I hear them saying. I ain't hear love yet. I ain't hear love yet. I listen to, you see, and this is reality of this world, you know.
It is.
Up to now, I ain't hear nobody say love, and I talk about building a vision.
Yes,
You hear the
yes.
things I say, and I the spoiled one, I the miserable one, I the devil's advocate. And even I came up and said, you know, if you guys have a vision
Yeah.
or something to build together, it will help keep the relationship to the 5 years. Right? That's my point. But every other woman that speak, talking about benefit and split this son.
Yes.
So fellas, here what I tell them all. I tell them all again. We consulted a lawyer for plenty business. Here what I tell them all there. Fellas, that contract is flawed. If you have a lawyer, let him go through that marital contract with you, because you will be selling yourself like a slave on a post.
Right, so Andy is saying marriage is legal slavery.
Thank you, Andy. Let me get to the reality of this thing. All who have lawyers stand up. We ain't living in 1950.
Right, so I think that before, I don't know if to say, starting from the 2000s, I don't know where exactly to start. My parents have been married for 29 years.
The old schoolers, they say that they know.
So,
Big up the long-term marriages on the live.
remember, you can put in what it is made the marriage last that long, maybe, yes.
They don't have no patience and temperance like the old schoolers. Fellas, I talking about we generation and after. I ain't talking about mom's generation and my mother generation who, when they married, that is it, you know. My grandmother era, the era of these people, we cannot liken unto these days. We cannot give young people advice now in these days as it was yesteryear.
Yeah.
Because what will happen is that you will get yourself tied. This is why these fellas are committing all these kind of crimes of passion, you know. They're getting themselves involved into things they don't understand. Just like the guy there, he married, they build the house and now I see a man in the house and that was it. Trip off, chop everybody, lick down everything, want to kill everybody, man.
So, my mother is asking, so what are you saying? Don't get married?
What am I saying? What I telling you, in reality, is find a lawyer, fellas. That's what I saying. Prenuptial agreement is the name of the game. That's what I saying.
Alright, so he's saying, yes, you can get married, just make sure that you do a prenuptial agreement, considering that persons, no, it's not like before. She says she's not old school.
Old school. You 30 something in this dance. Yeah.
She says she's not old school.
You old school. You 30 something.
Right?
You
So,
25. Right? Where's the demographic on our analytics? Our analytics is from what the age bracket?
yeah, we have from 25, our highest age range who participates, it is from 24 to 35.
Right. You say this one. So you're not 25 and you're not 35. So anything other than that, that means you wasn't married for how long?
29 years.
That ain't reason, sorry. Your class today. The old school, sorry.
Right? So,
That's good though.
yeah. But the thing about it is, okay, so Candy, message board. She's saying the thing is, a lot of people find it easier to walk away than try and work things out.
And it's cheaper. Candy, it is cheap. Look now. Think about this. You're serious about a young lady or a young man. I talking from either sides and not until you all match the condies when I take sides. Right? And for whatever reason, let's say you all start the relationship or the marriage and the guy is abusive. So I will take devil's advocate side. And the guy is abusive. We don't condone that type of abuse.
No, we don't.
Regardless. Right? Now, to walk away from that is going to be costly. You must weigh the risks involved in what you're doing. It is not 50 years ago. It have people might see the young lady and say, oh, she's very ambitious, she's nice, she's this, she's that, and they now pray and they look into, as we the century get through. Same thing with the guy. The guy maybe have some stuff, he working, he have this, he have that, and he's stable. I have never heard a woman want to marry an unstable man. He has to be stable. He had to show that he's stable. As opposed to a guy will marry because he just smitten by the young lady.
Yeah.
As opposed to a woman, she doesn't just jump into a marriage with an unstable man. Message one.
Abby is saying that, well, let's go to Shelly first. But you are not supposed to go into a marriage saying, this is mine and that is yours. And Abby is saying, I think most men won't get married because they keep their options open.
That's true. We are in a society that we have covered a lot of different avenues in which the mind has been led in this new age. We did desires, we did what is love, we did are you ready for marriage. We did a lot of different mindsets that has changed because of society. We did the LBGTQIA scenario, and look at men and women, how they have changed, even who they have long-term relationships with. Which I judge no one, because in the end, no one is better than anyone, irregardless. If you think your situation is up here and another person view is down here, this platform is not to judge anybody or to force any belief system down anyone's throat. As I said before, because V, she is a resident lesbian on there. Life in a long-term relationship, longer than some heterosexual relationships. Yeah, and this is the age we live in, and we say it's mental fitness, physical fitness, emotional fitness. So we just keep in there.
We're going to the message board.
And she can like to run in this message board.
Yes, we're going to the message board. So Candy is saying, whether marriage or common law, it's a risk. And she said the aim is never get divorced when you get married. And we have Mrs. James saying, prenup with nothing.
Prenup?
With nothing, meaning that some persons don't have anything to do a prenuptial agreement.
That is the interesting thing. That's the interesting thing. My peace of mind is something. There's reality. It going back, listen to, fellas, listen to how the ladies addressing this. My peace of mind worth more than any amount of money you could have. My peace of mind worth more than any amount of land you could have. Your mind. My peace worth more than any dollar sign here. So if it is that my peace of mind or your peace of mind is that everything is arranged properly, if we have kids, it is arranged properly, because we don't know what happens in the future. It come like you're driving without a seatbelt. You don't know. In the end, you going on faith. You can't put faith in our next person. You don't know if tomorrow that person changes. That person can be very nice today. And we have seen it in more than different relationships where the man just changed. Or the woman changed. It was good all the time. It was going good. And then they married and they changed. A prenuptial agreement is to manage the risks of what could go wrong. This is a contractual agreement. You know, people don't understand. People taking this thing like if it's some kind of fairy tale and white picket fence. This is a contractual agreement. To say somebody has nothing is irrelevant. The person's peace of mind is what matters. Before the money, before what you can get, if it is. And 9 out of 10 times the man gets nothing in this contract of marriage. That is why a lot of people who have businesses, a lot of people who have, their lawyer insists that they get a prenuptial agreement to protect their assets. And my peace of mind is an asset. And I ain't gonna show anybody my bank account like that. For them who having thoughts in their mind of nothing.
All right. So, Mrs. James, she said we work together from nothing to something. Success for our marriage is communication, cooperation, and commitment.
It's nice.
And maybe that is the difference.
Eloquent.
Some persons, they go into a marriage for what the other person has, but they don't work together to build something, as you would have
Moving.
said.
Eloquent. But that don't protect me from nothing. It sounds nice. It sounds good. It's good to see we're going down this road together. It sounds nice. It's like a poem, like poetry. you know we have a saying, basket the whole water. It's sounding good. It's nice. It's things that would actually be as pillars of a marriage. But we must understand the time we're living in. And people, not every person here let into your life. You don't know somebody. When you hear these stories now, these relationships going totally off course. They say, well, we didn't know. Or, this change, this happened. And it happens.
All right. So we're going to the message board. We have some persons saying, well said to Mrs. James, so true. Right? And Andy now is saying, most of them women just get into it because they want a condiment of what they have. And then he went on to say, marriage is better when you build together.
We covered what the word marriage is. I don't know if we had to go back into the definition. A marriage is not the contract that you sign and you stand up in the church. Sorry.
No, with marriage, we spoke about the, let's call that the vows. For better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, and in sickness and in health. And we know what these stats look like, unfortunately. Now we know what it looks like. Maybe 20 years ago, there would have been a lot of more successful marriages than now. Even just relationships on a whole, right? But now we see that persons are so into things. They're not into, they might say, yes, we're building together, but they
hear about building, Chica?
Yeah, no, but some, it might have some that thinking of, plenty things, change.
Will you marry a man who is not stable, works nowhere, and is not productive? You see, again, we trying to sugarcoat something, and I was being normal all the time, and all you're getting me on a side that I'm not supposed to be. I have never seen a woman go on the side of the road and say, I love that man, and I'm going and build him from nothing. The whole relationship starts off with you see like in a stable man to build something with. That means it must have an intention from the start. It is not as pure. Listen, we are not as pure as we believe in. We saying all these pure thought things. We are not as pure as we believe we are. Fellas, same way. Will you go and you pick up a young lady who's a street dweller? You're smelling she from by the corner. Would you say, hey, you know what? I could turn her life around. I could change. I could affect change. I could clean her up, get her education, and marry her. How much fellas doing that? We are not as pure in our thinking as we are speaking. Because we always look, how we look at a young lady. We want to see how nice she is. If she's brought up well, if she's well-mannered, if she's ambitious. You understand? We don't willingly go out to select people that we know ain't going and hold a candle. Not so? Mm-hmm. Right? So we are not as pure in thinking as we think we are. Message board.
All right. So Candy Barbara was just asking, what is the number one cause of divorce?
The number one cause of divorce. What is a divorce? What does it mean, a divorce? Because when we did Are You Ready for Marriage, all who looked at that live, If you're going on the roads of marriage in the biblical sense, yeah, it have no such thing as divorce. It have no such thing. If you're going down the original, when we're talking about the original context of getting married, or they ain't supposed to get no divorce inside this place, you know. All you who married and get divorced. Or in the plans of. It ain't supposed to even have that word if we really want to go to the root. Yeah?
If it is you're following the vows that you would have made.
But then, that is my point right there. We're not as pure as we think. It have people stand on an altar and vow. And as soon as one thing going wrong, that is it, they're gone. So you must protect yourself. It goes right back. Because you vowing, better for worse, richer or poorer, till death do us part.
Sickness and in health.
Sickness and in health. And it have people leaving you for less than that.
So let's go to the message board. We have Candy saying stability has to start with you, the individual. Now the thing about it is, right, now as Linus always say, look at the word. Now there can be stability in many forms as well as health. If somebody is not stable in mind, that is number one. I mean, it might have times in life where you may be out of a job. So it might have a man or a woman out of a job. I mean, like, look at the COVID situation now.
Perfect example.
Right? Some persons end up being retrenched. Right? So they may not have a job. That does not mean that the person is not stable. Right? So when it is looking at stability, think about mind first. How do they handle challenges?
Women have been marrying for stability.
Right, and that's financial
stability. And I said my guy who works as doing mediation in the court spoke to me 1 month from this day. And he is saying in COVID-19 is the most amount of mediations he had to do since he working for the past 15 years. Because you know why? The guy lost his job. The stability financially has left, and now he's doing mediation on a record high because the guy has no more money. You see, we're saying things based on sounding good and the 1% of the people who have long term. We're talking about what is the statistics in our country. What is the statistics in our community? What is going on? What's the heartbeat based upon COVID-19? How it affecting relationships? Badly it affecting relationships. Because the reason why people got into the relationship in the first place, it is showing up. It is showing up now. Right? And this is the reality. And you need to protect yourself.
Yes. So let's go to the message board. Right. Audrey. We have Audrey saying, bro, for our next man to take her after we build together. And Candy Barbara said vice versa. And then Mrs. James is saying, as far as I see, the lawyers are gaining in marriage, whether commando or not, when coming to prenup, divorce, etc. Sorry, I have to leave now. But before she leaves, she also said, assets can't save your life. They are still killing the woman regardless of prenup. What about that?
Again, the prenup is for protecting your assets, financial assets. Because as we said before, there are people who have ill will, ill intentions, and they are wolves in sheep clothing out there. For us to sit back and just say, marriage is an institution, let's love and build and sound all beautiful, is like walking barefoot in a forest and thinking that all is well. Yeah? So the reason for the prenup is not to protect anybody from dying or any woman being killed. It is for asset protection, financial protection, and for the both parties, because the two lawyers sit down. The lawyer isn't gaining anything.
Well, they just have to pay them to do the
That's the job. You know, it's the sad thing. What do you mean? Is the lawyers gaining? What rubbish is that? Because in reality, your lawyer has to sit down with my lawyer and finalize and agree. So in the event something happens, everybody is protected. It is to protect both persons. It's not for one person to be protected or the other. It is for the children, because sometimes it might be with somebody, you have children from a previous relationship, you're protecting them, you're protecting the two persons and making sure it is fair and it is just. I don't know, when people hear prenup, women, all of a sudden women get offended. Why? Why women get offended when they hear prenup?
Alright, so people, the prenup, because I mean sometimes when people hear prenup, they'll say, well, that man here really love me. But really and truly, it is also helping protect your assets. So if it is you are going into the relationship,
like people who have nothing going into the relationship, that's why they get offended.
Because the truth is, there are some women that do have it. It may not be in the majority.
A lot of women,
but there are lots
with their
of women
assets.
Come in with their assets.
Yes.
Some of them may be working for more money than the man, and in that case, sometimes the man, if it is the judge or whoever looks at the relationship, somebody who is being fair, the man, he may be the one to benefit from the relationship. And it have some women that go as far as tell the man, don't worry, you don't work, I'm making enough for both of us. You still might have some men will take that little shake and decide, well, you know, they will be dependent upon the woman.
If she wanna pay me alimony,
right? She now
once she had the
is a switch now, flip. Normally see man paying
alimony,
maintenance and all of
she
that.
Pay all of that.
She will have to pay it.
So it is important when you hear the Rasta say prenup, all these women get offended.
But we have Ajay saying just thinking about prenup means you considering or think of a future split. Now listen to this, Ajay. Once it is you understand a prenup, because if it doesn't mean that you're going to have a split, it will specify the number of years. Right? So if it is, you say, okay, after, let us say you decide, well, 10 years, you could share the assets that both of you have. Just saying, I'm just saying a number. Right? Instead of, because some persons, 5 years is not a long time. It may seem long to some person, but 5 years is not a long time. And we see that some marriages are lasting 2 years, some 1 year.
Less than 5 years.
You know, so it doesn't reach the 5 year mark. So what people do is strictly prenup protects your asset that you are coming into the marriage with for, let us say, 10 years to start.
Yep.
Right? Now, if it is something happens to either party that's sick, but let us say that, and you know, you may have children, and then of course there will be a will to say how the assets will be divided. Or let us say within 5 years, because we know that people, as Lion said, they are not as pure as they think. Now we might laugh at certain movies, we might laugh at the Lifetime movies, you know, all these movies but these movies can be inspired by life and what people have in their mind, because they wouldn't come up with it just so. And some people, they get ideas when they watch it, and it can be dangerous. They may try to get rid of the person before time. It have people that, you know, do those things. So in order to protect your assets, protect your family, protect your loved ones, that is important.
Oh, listen to that. Look, it was interesting. Do you look over your contract when you become employed? When they issue a contract for employment, is look it over. Anything you have to sign, you have to look it over. This is how I really love here, people. You understand? Anything with a contract you need to get and somebody who in the legal aspect to look it over for you to understand what you're getting into. Because you could control yourself, but you cannot control another person.
Right, so we have Andy saying he's agreeing with me. Today saying yes, Shika, when I met my husband, he was a hustler and I was the one going to school and working, and he used to give him all my money at the end of the month. Well, listen.
I know sister.
Right, listen. Nobody is saying So, we know that long time it used to have men, but they decided to go in and give
Julie,
all
good
the
night.
money. Behave itself.
Good night. Talk to me.
Right? To the man, to the woman, right? It have some men long time they used to do that. They used to say, "Here, you handle the groceries, whatever, whatever." Nobody is saying to do that.
Julie.
Nobody is saying to go
Chicks.
and give up. I don't know what that is. No
Julie.
man, no woman should say, "Yeah, how many whole salary." If it is you're in a
If
relationship,
you have to ask for the whole salary,
you
Julie,
will have
talk to me.
shared
Julie,
responsibilities.
if you have to ask for the whole thing, tell me.
Yeah.
No. That is, it's funny, but that is how men used to trust women back in them days.
Yeah.
Because my father used to, not because he was weak,
Yeah.
not because he trusted the
Yeah.
woman to do what is right with the fine. You feel he could get out who let me young girl and then my
salary.
own money just so. What it's done is
When it done
eyelash
it
and
blink,
nails
yeah.
and clothes and
No.
crazy.
It is different these days. They
And
just
in those
buy
days,
and
the women were very the budget. They had what was for savings. They had what was going to the house, food. It was the man trusted.
Yeah.
That is why he could have done that. That is the only how a man doing that.
Trust.
And he ain't getting that trust out there. A man nowhere in this world going and just hand you all his money and says give him a passage. Not here.
Right, and he say most times we don't look over the fine print. And
Yeah.
Julie is saying, I worked hard and built with my husband, and he took everything and give it to another woman and her family. She
So
said, we
again-
all will talk after.
You understand? Because again, you don't know what people's intentions are.
Yeah.
You have to protect yourself. And if you're working hard, look at that, she working hard
Yeah,
and
this
put-
is a flip side. So normally you
Right.
might hear the man,
Man
saying,
saying that.
the woman take everything. No,
Right,
it's the
so-
other way around.
perfect. And it's good that you share your point of view.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're looking at this on YouTube,
Make sure
I
subscribe,
think I
like,
what?
comment.
don't call to
Yeah.
action in this thing, boy. Facebook or you click the share button. Don't call to
Yes,
action,
yes,
boy.
yes.
The live hot.
Well, V from Tennessee already told persons earlier on make sure and share the live,
Right, straight out. Love.
right? So, I mean, people, whether it is, so earlier on, Candy Barbara said it is a risk, whether it's a common law
It's not the same
relationship
risk.
or marriage.
It's
But
not the
it's
same
really
risk.
not, but here's what the difference in the risk are. If it is a man is married, and then he separates, not divorced, separated from his wife, and he has a common law relationship with somebody else after, that woman
Real problem.
in problems.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let me break it down as low as we could. Like real low. Real low. Hear what we're saying? Whether you be a man or a woman, and that lady you're dealing with is a married woman, and she not divorced, stay away. If the man come wrong here and he ain't divorced, stay
Away.
away.
Exactly.
Do not deal with married. See me?
Yeah, do not
deal
get
with
involved
married people.
With married people.
You will always get the end of the stick. You always get the end of the stick.
And so that person may have been married for 10 years, and you spend a whole 20 to 30 years with them, and it's your skin to catch.
You're not there yet.
Right now, that is why the cohabitation, the common law marriage, the common law relationship marriage type of thing, in that sense, is
You realize what the woman say earlier?
yes. So
Fellas.
for whether it's the man or the woman, it is
Guys.
a no.
Do you notice what that young lady said? Are they listening to the ladies, you know, fellas? Or they need to tune in. Turn on the antenna a little bit, fellas. There's a wake-up call for the guys.
Right.
You hear what she said? It's your skin to catch. I never hear a man say that.
Yes. but
I
it
no
is
no 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 no
your
no no
skin
no
to
hold on
catch.
hold on. I have never heard a man say, boy, it's my skin to catch if me. A man is going real blind, you know.
Yeah.
Men go into fellas. Or you're going into relationships blind.
Yes, and that is why Lion said earlier, men think as women. He said that, you know.
Yeah.
And I understand he is saying, all right, this is what the woman here thinking.
Yeah.
Right? So what we are saying, because sometimes they get into a communal relationship with a married man. It have some people, it is very easy for them. They living together, they have children between themselves, or they may have had children prior to being in that communal relationship, and they would have had that trust, and they would have really truly loved each other so that it wouldn't have any conflict. Right? No conflict in interests. They're not confused about what is going
She
on.
can like to talk from the 1%.
Right? But in truth and in fact, right, when it is you get whatever whether it's marriage or not, and you even going as Lion mentioned earlier, you marry somebody, but both of you all had children prior to the relationship. If it is you all divorced or separated, when something does happen, you have to think about custody.
What people don't understand in divorce, them lawyers and them just come to take, you know. When you're going through a messy divorce, people doesn't understand that the lawyers on either side coming to see what they could get for the client, you know.
Yeah.
Them don't care about the kids and this one and that. Whoever you pay in that divorce, that lawyer out to get the most what that lawyer could get for the client. That's the job.
Right.
People don't understand this. But if you drop, think about it now. Imagine you drop a prenup from before because all you're coming into the relationship with children that were not in the relationship. If you drop a prenup from before, they would have been protected.
Yeah.
They'd have
You
been
have to
protected.
protect
But
your
anytime you
children.
go into a marriage, people listen my words. You know. Don't get caught up with the fairy tales and them. You know. If you going into a marriage and you have children, and you go in and get involved with somebody else who have children or child, you have to, your right is to protect your child first and check your feelings out the door. You gotta check them feelings at the door.
Yes, because people could switch. If it is something happens to
And
the
next thing that person
person,
have a hot lawyer. Watch night, there's some lawyers out there. They take everything. And when that lawyer
Yeah.
done, I hear people talk about divorce like if it's a war, you know. Who get the house, who get the car? No.
right. So let's go to the message board. Well, Ajay was asking, do you recommend common law or marriage?
My
Right?
recommendation.
You will say none. None of the above, right? But you really have to know what it is you want, right? That's what I
my
would say.
recommendation, she answered.
What's your recommendation?
Yeah, so,
Andy, in terms of people will respond to what Julie said.
right.
Right? Ajay asked, did the court give you anything? You had evidence to show your contributions. Those assets should have been split. And
You know how much
Andy
you gotta
is
pay that
saying
lawyer to fight that case?
that man needs a what, right? And I am not sorry, run away from that. And Julie is explaining what went on. She said, my husband cheated and had 2 children, and I welcomed them, but the other woman wanted more. And he made his choice. I wasn't fighting for anyone who didn't want me. Right? She said, after we got married, he told me, stay home and be a housewife. See about the house and bills, which give him time to warn her. She said, some women are very wicked. In my case, the other woman knew my husband when he had nothing, and as soon as I helped him put business together, everyone started to see him. So
But
she's
that's
saying,
every
yes,
woman,
I
eh?
did, but he put everything on his father's name.
Right. It's a bright fella. It's a bright guy.
Right? So you see now, it could go it could go
The man
either
manage
way.
the risk when he run in,
Right?
which
But
is hard.
and you see, and so that's why I say he might talk about love, and it could be a man running in blind, it could be a woman running in blind into the relationship, thinking everything is all hunky dory. Right? And sometimes when people see the potential that you have, all they are seeing is your potential and what they can gain from your potential and then leave
At the
after.
end of the day, the woman squeeze him when he get through, not when he didn't have. And it goes back to my previous discussion. He is more good looking now because he has some more money. He more attractive now because he have a little business. Why wasn't coming wrong him all the time when he did
Right.
broken. So that's my point.
So she was new, she helped build, but the other woman, they see, oh, things nice.
But that's women. Women always, that's my point. In her instance, she assisted. But the general consensus,
Is woman.
they want the successful man, so they were, hey, he started to do things now.
Yeah. All of a sudden.
Obviously, but that is normal. If you was 300 pounds and you lose 100 pounds and you're looking good, all of a sudden,
Everybody's seeing you.
that's what it is.
All of a sudden, it might be the smallest one, and they find you have, the womanly curves, and all of a sudden, everybody start to see the woman when she out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? So again, it's the intentions of this world, and we must be emotionally fit and mentally fit to handle what this world gives us.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you have to know whether it is marriage. Now, marriage is a choice. It is you to make the choice whether it is you want to get married or whether it is you want to live in a common law relationship. Whatever relationship you decide to be in, that is your choice. You have to know you.
My suggestion,
You have to know you.
you are actually recommendation.
What is this you recommend, Diane? What do you recommend?
Oh my God.
Well, she's saying that out there is still in court. Julia is saying she
Oh
and her
Lord,
husband.
that is my next point, right?
It's
It is
still
be
in
so
court.
drawn
Yeah,
out.
and so when people when it is you're getting married, if it is you get,
It will come on no better, it better. Look how long and drawn out. For you to get back your shilling in
Yeah.
COVID, you can't even get back your $2 where you spend because, you see?
right? And listen, people, if it is you in a common already, now you see the thing about it is, you know what's the problem?
recommendation just now, fellas.
You know what the problem
I
is?
had a cure. I had a cure to read about, fellas. I have the cure, so stay tuned for the cure.
Right. So you know what the problem is? People get into relationships not really going in it for the long run. I think that's the problem. So when a problem arises, whether it's common law or marriage, they go into the relationship not for better or for worse, not in sickness and in health, and not for they just use the words. Whether it is because even if somebody remember common law, it's just as how the only thing is they didn't sign up document,
Make sure they have the pen and paper ready.
Right? That's the only thing. Now, in some countries, they actually have it legal. It's almost like more closer to marriage itself.
Or any music in the background, want to tell me the music song.
Right? It is very much like marriage itself, so they have more rights. Right? But in Trinidad and Tobago, if it is you are in a common law relationship and you get separated, right? You must file for whatever maintenance. If it is you help build a property, help build a house, you're going to have to claim before the 2 years up, right? And as the saying goes, you cannot be off and on, off and on, off and on, right? So please note, people, when it is a off and on, no. So message board. Why go in if you don't intend to stay? And then Julia saying, yes, Lion, it was always me and him. And as soon as we reach in our house and business starts to go good, it's people from all over. But I'll always say he is a small donkey. Right?
I thought it was a big donkey.
She said, I was married 10 years and divorced 5. Wow. 5 years, that is a very long time in court.
No, as I said before, people, it goes back to my previous statement. You see, now this is my previous statement, fellas. Julie presently tried to get back she 2 shilling because she invested money and the business run right and he pick up the girl and gone, as we say, boss out. He boss out now. 5 years she's still in court. Me?
That is craziness.
That
is crazy.
Pen and paper, fellas.
Right?
We're going to give you the 5, Lion. 5 sure ways of finding out if this girl serious or not. Pen and paper time.
She's saying, come on, no, still have some say.
You understand?
Right. That is pen and paper, people.
Pen and paper earlier. And all interesting parties in the Real Talk Dry Fit. Julie is supposed to have a Real Talk Dry Fit by now. All the ladies on the live supposed to have a Real Talk Dry Fit by now. And if not, inbox the page after the live. No. Number one, you're making sure your bank account has no money in it. You're drawing out every week. You take it a slip and you're leaving it somewhere where she could see. Yeah. You're making sure she know you have no money. When I say no money, the shoes you're wearing, busting away, and you're buying the next one. The vest on them, hole in it. You're buying it now. You're letting she know that, babes, times hard. But things will get better. Again, she among that. And then you ask her, where you think you see this relationship going in the next 5 years? And then put her to sit down. This is number 2. Again, let Fast and Furious, number 2. You know, ladies like to say, we need to talk. Essentially, WhatsApp. We need to talk. She reach. I don't really see that.
I never use that word.
We need to talk.
I never
Anyway. You put her to sit down. And you let her know. If you really want to get married to me, you have to be with me for 12 years. Straight. You have to make 12 years to even contemplate walking on her eye. What the message was?
Just now, people, you go to the message, bro.
Yeah.
You have nobody to miss.
Right? So, one, make sure she sees zero in the bank account. So, find a bank account, you can empty, put it in the next account. Just empty one and just put it. If you have 2, everybody have one on one account. Just empty one and straight. The account she mustn't know about it. So, the next one, so that she believe in that the only account there. The next one is stipulation now. We need to talk. I'll really check for you, put her to sit down, you let her know to contemplate even getting married or even going into a common law relationship. You gotta be with me for 12 years. Yeah, if she pass 1 and 2, you need 3 and 4. You need 5. Because that is people's problem. People already know how long they could take what for you. People, if somebody have an agenda, they wouldn't give themselves that length of time. I ain't going to give you rest. Maybe next life I'll give you rest. If somebody has an agenda and you tell them you're going on, this, you can't get no keep in my house, you can't sleep in my house, you can't wait until 12 years. You might need, they might block you, they might need to talk the next week. Them go on. Because people who have agendas have a timeline.
Alright, so we can go to the message board. Today's in Lion, I didn't want anything because I didn't want him to say he minded me still and have me how I am, but the lawyer is who really is fighting. Ajay is saying, a month too little bit. Woman could act real. He's saying one could relax. And Gail is saying the music, she's saying nice song in the background. And Abby saying, if during that 12 years you change your mind.
Then it change.
Julie say, Lion, please. I'm always attracting broke men who I'm always helping find their way, but I'm not even vexed because I'm getting my blessings from God. You know, we maybe should do that law of attraction sort of thing. Ma'am, you're very late,
They got Mrs. McCallman and you're late like that.
You're really.
Shanaka, you need to put in your order for your Real Talk Drive It. And Abby, you need to put in your order for your Real Talk Drive It. Yeah, my mind can change in 12 years. But the reason why we're doing it is that it is a psychological deterrent. Anyone who has an agenda, they work with a timeline. If my agenda is I come in to take half your money, we must be married by 2 years, and then I get in for 3, and then 4, and then if 5th year we divorce and I collect my check. People who have agendas, they work with a timeline. If somebody tells you 12 years, no. That's too long because they have an agenda, and the agenda has a time frame, and that time frame is a bit long.
Yes.
Right? That's why I would use those type of things. And by Asaji,
Yes.
girls don't like broken guys.
Even if it's for a little while.
I can't think. Right now in COVID, worse. I don't think a female is attracted to a guy that has 0 in their bank account, no matter how good looking he is. That 0 have to turn into something sometime. Even if it's a little 100. Nothing. You can't buy rice. You know what I mean? Law of attraction is a good topic. Yes. Should I forget?
Yeah.
What my boy said facts too? Tell her where you said facts too. You let me know where you said facts too, right? Right? So, in reality, agenda-driven people, that is why we use psychology. We use psychology to weed out mindsets. Psychology is good to, so, people would be iffy about certain things. Psychology is a good way to weed out mindsets. What people in your life for? Are they in your life to be a blessing, or are they in your life to be a curse? Because marriage is a huge thing. Common law is huge. Relationships big. But in reality, you have to now assess, are these people in your life to be an asset to you or a liability? Am I an asset in somebody? It's easy.
Yeah.
Even
And
to
if-
people
yeah,
who
you
train in,
should.
is if people, we have the little aerobics on the morning, we are wrong 1, wrong 2. And it's burnt team an asset to the people who coming out on a morning. It's not to say I'm trying to put people in an economical standpoint. It's just that that's how you're supposed to really weigh your relationships. Is the person an asset or a liability? Is the person helping you with a good advice, or they just have a good spirit, they have a good energy, they could push you forward. It don't have to be about money all the time.
Exactly.
They make you smile when you're down. That is an asset. When you're weak, they make you strong. That is an asset.
Yeah. So when it is we talk stability, it shouldn't just be about, or it shouldn't even be about.
Woman is about money, chica. Don't even try to rope it back in. Don't even try to, really? You can't try to do that? What woman going on anybody broken?
Right, so
Try
Karen
again,
was saying no girl like a broken guy.
That's it.
And I just, I know women don't like to wait. And Julie saying I never got married to get divorced. I wanted for better or worse no matter what. Still want to get married again though, and it should be the last. We going down dying.
That's nice.
Now, based on your experience there, Julie,
And you still want to go there.
and you, well, you have a lot of hope. All we have to say is be, what is the word?
The chica say rub she leg.
Be thinking about what would. Be careful. You don't want to be in the same situation because have some persons they keep and every time they in the same cycle. Every time it's the same set of people they are attracting, and nothing changes for better. Say one change for be one betterment. So you have to look at your
The law of attraction is the next topic, and it's a nice topic because I like energy-based topics. I always like energy-based topics and universal principles. And the law of attraction is an excellent topic to delve into why we attract certainly. Attract yourself.
Yeah, Julie is saying sometimes it's better to stay in a common law relationship because as soon as you're married, a lot does start to take place. The fight is real.
Yeah, attraction is energy-based. And in reality,
I just say, well, just buy 2 of everything.
that's right. 4. Yeah, Yeah, the law of attraction is a good topic to touch. Because if we find ourselves attracting the majority of the time a negative energy, we need to look within ourselves. I rarely attract negative people in my life. And if you find that that is happening, then you need a self-reflection. You need to look into yourself and see, what am I now encouraging? And if people know you and you see, and that has to do with your standards. If I have a standard, before on the battlefield in the days of old, you used to raise your battle standard. The battle standard will represent your country, it will represent the army in which you fought for. And when you raise your standard, the opposing force knows what you stand for. So if I do not stand for broken gears, and you're broken, you'll find a walk before you come around me. Same thing with a man. If a woman's standard is way, Pally. You see how that pants hanging there? That not becoming, it's either you're straighten up.
Yeah.
Right? If the woman's standard is a decent man with dreams and goals and vision, that means if you have to have dreams and goals and visions.
Yes.
You can't just want a best man and you ain't no best girl.
Exactly.
It don't work like that. So when we deal with law of attraction, I the right topic to touch the rasta with. Because a lot of we looking for things that we ain't deserve. Or you're looking for kings and queens, and well, there's not kings and queens. You can't have a king if he's not a queen. Kings only stay with queens. Just get quiet there.
Right. Message blood. I was saying I've been with men with and without money and didn't work out because they are low. Julie is saying she's taking your advice. She'll wait 12 years. She's not in a hurry. I have surely learned from my past relationships.
Sure. For the monk to that meditate people. Yeah, so the next topic would be
Law of attraction. But I know one person did say that they like the topic. So
that is the topic, man.
that's the topic.
That's the topic. That's the topic. I like that.
Law
I
of
believe
attraction.
that when we see who's coming at us, we get a vision of what we need to change in ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah. So as Abby was saying, she was with guys with money, without money, and I long. There's your reflection is your attraction at some point, eh? Yeah, man talking about KFC there.
But as man, you could pick up gold diggers offer to carry her KFC, and as how much pieces she wants. When she says she doesn't know, carry 2 pieces. If she frets, run.
So level we don't eat KFC, but team don't really deal in the KFC. But interesting pieces. Yeah. So it was nice.
Yes.
And the law of attraction will be a very nice topic because it gets you looking inward. It gets you looking. I will wait more. What I will.
I guess she will wait and hopefully she, get.
Yeah. It gets you looking inward. Yeah. It gets you to look inside yourself.
Okay, so Julie is saying, but my standards are surely high now. I had a few guys come around me and told me to drop my standards because I have a child now and it's not about me again. I have to take what I get. Listen, the thing you see now, if it is the man,
She get hot. I thought
right,
she was good.
vice, I
She
didn't
get
say
hot.
anything.
She get hot in all there.
Right, this is vice versa.
She
You
can drink, don't
set
she?
your standard.
What we
Right.
drinking? As soon as she can get hot, we need to drink something cool.
Right? They can not because you have a child means that you should drop your standard of what it is you want in a relationship. Right? Julie, back to Julie is saying,
Julie,
why
go
are
on.
men so disrespectful when it comes to a woman with child or children? And when men have theirs, you must take them as your own. Well, Tara wants to know who man say that. You should not have to drop your standards based upon what it is you want in a relationship.
So Chica is
So
hot.
it doesn't, yes, tricks, Teron, tricks.
Chica hot out
That
there.
is tricks. So by the time the man tell you drop his standard,
He's not even a bright hunter.
No,
Tell
no,
him
no,
check
no,
me,
no,
but
no,
tell him
no.
how to.
no.
Tell him
No.
check. Tell him a box. Man.
It is that is not how.
What is the standard she wanted to draw?
Now,
There is
okay,
a difference
talk
between
about,
standard and compromise. Now you see women get hot. You see she hot there?
yes.
She went wild. Man, there's a difference between someone saying dropping standards and compromising. Now you could look. If nobody's not all the way up here so that they can't
No.
compromise to nothing, right? I didn't never say that. I'm
Yeah.
saying basic standards. Now my basic standards is we don't like brokenness because children have to eat.
Yes.
Right? We can't have that. If it's broken, we have to go and find a way out. Right? You can't be running here and everywhere. You can't be scratching posts every. You understand? You can't be running your body all about the place. Are you talking about
Yes.
simple
yes,
standards,
simple.
right? Basic standards. That your whole honesty, openness, basic standards. Now, if there is something that needs compromise,
That's
because remember we spoke about desires and your partner sharing his desires with you, and you know, right? And you need to, different.
That
The
is
woman might have
different.
something that she likes, and you come to
Yeah.
a compromise where you kind of, that is different.
Abby is saying she is not settling for no raga man.
So
I
you
will
see-
stay home with a glass of wine.
You see, they
I
get,
don't think she meant.
but I hear let's get wild. Yeah.
She
Abby,
said
where you
those
from
men
again?
in uniform, government workers.
Anyway.
Abby's from England.
Big up yourself. Oh, let's send some hearts to England in the house. We had England in the house. We had Tennessee in the house. So
Canada in the house.
we have Canada in the house. Big up Guyanese fit chick. Planning a whole kind of collab with this girl here, and I just looking at the craziness from a distance, right? But look out for it, guys. Guyanese fit chick and Chica J doing a collaboration. Supposed to be online, so we will let you guys know
Know
when and
when
you
it's
can
happening.
fit in properly.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be nice. Nice. We're trying to merge Canada and Trinidad. The arrangement should be interesting. So big up England in the house. Big up Canada in the house. We are always glad to have people from other nations. Alright? So the next topic is going to be
Law of attraction.
I hope all yeah.
Alright.
Locking on, eh?
So Julie saying I am not jumping no standard. I deserve goodness in my life. And by the grace of God I'm going to get it. And if I have to stay by myself, well, so be it.
I remember when I choose to go on the mountain top. Once you okay being alone, nothing wrong with that. But we always yearn for companionship.
Yeah.
It's easy to say everybody had some bad experiences maybe in relationships and could say, boy, I will stay alone, but we always yearn, and the yearning for companionship is what makes us make the wrong decisions. So again, if your standards right and your vibration is right, when we dealing with law of attraction, it would show us how we can attract the right type of people and mindsets.
So Julia is saying if they can't respect that I have a child and that part of me, well, boy, bye. And Taryn is telling her to take a rest.
Right now, Tero, I resting. Try to rest, dog. Yeah, so again, next Real Talk would be Real Talk Extra because the official Real Talk is on a Friday night.
7 p.m.
Mrs. McCalman, 7 p.m.
I don't know what we're going to start today, no?
And wake up early tomorrow.
Yes. Concentrate on aligning your chi. Papa, yo.
That is what we just talk about. When we make the chi right. Okay, cool. Wait, I like that. Jesus Christ. Julie, but I didn't know that. Lord. Nah, be optimistic. Listen, I know we're going. How long are we going? Listen. Value. So, Abby, listen. Your words have a lot of power in them. So I think, even when you go into cover law of attraction, what you are confessing. You see, this up here is a antenna and receiver, transmitter and receiver, right? And when this and this connect and this connect, is a powerful vibration. So what, ladies, we need to do is change the words we say and say, I'm going to start to see good people in my life. Say, I am going to have good and healthy and long-lasting and fruitful relationships. Whether it was a year, 2 years, fruitful. We only call in these big numbers.
Yeah.
But if we can't enjoy 20 minutes of somebody's company and enjoy it, how you expect to enjoy 20 years? Right? So start, ladies, to say, stop saying, if you continue to say, I only attract broken men, then all you will attract is broken men. Your standards can be high like Mount Everest. You could have the best everything all the way up to the stratosphere. But if you are only confessing with your mouth that this always happens, this always happens, and this connecting with this, and you're only saying it over and over and over, what is the end result? The end result is you get what you say. So we will delve into that in the law of attraction. Because it can attract money. It can attract good people. So that, I like this section. Oh, chica. Yeah. So ladies, start to confess good. You know what? The relationship going a little bad? And set dates. In 14 days time, the bad relationship I had, or having now in my relationship, it is going to get better. Instead of saying, oh God, he always sickening. Anytime you say he always sickening, he is going to be always sickening. If you say she always nagging, she is always going to be nagging. Because this and this and this agree. And it is made manifest with your words. So it's your boy Lion.
And the girl Chica Chi.
Oh, there's no Chica there.
I'm not telling you.
We gone.